Here's a quick video of my Zeiss Ikon Ikoflex III. This camera was produced in 1939 for just under 1 year, and they only made 8,500 units of this camera. And the reason for that is the war broke out, and that halted pretty much all camera production. This camera in 1939 cost the equivalent of $193 US, when at the time a Rolleiflex sold for $145. So if you adjust that for inflation, it cost roughly $3,600, and a Rolleiflex cost $2,700. So it was almost $1,000 more expensive than a Rolleiflex. And the reason for that is it was Zeiss Ikon's attempt to create a camera that was better than a Rolleiflex, both in features and in lens speed. So the lens on this camera is an f2.8 tessar, when at the time Rolleiflexes typically had, well, they only had an f3.5 tessar lens, and this one is 80mm and Rolleiflexes were 75. Other unique features on this camera include the viewfinder. So while Rolleiflexes had a sport finder where the front would hinge down and you could see right through the back for eye level viewing, what Zeiss Ikon did is they provided you with an actual real, get this in here, oh, sorry, let me take out the magnifying release. So I believe this is called an Albata finder. So the camera's not going to be able to focus, but it projects frame lines onto this mirrored front glass. So it's kind of like a viewfinder you would find in a rangefinder, where you have bright lines being projected onto the front, and when you view through it, it's basically like looking through a giant rangefinder viewfinder. So it's really cool. And the neat part is when you focus, this moves and adjusts for parallax. So the frame lines on this camera actually move. I don't know if I could show you, probably not, but they move as you focus, adjusting for parallax. Other features include it has a really short focus throw, so that's end to end, versus Rolleiflexes had a much longer focus throw. So the disadvantage is probably hard to fine tune, get precise focus, whereas on a Rolleiflex with more movement, it really slows down the focusing, helping you achieve exact focus. To crank the shutter, it's only to advance the film and crank the shutter, it's only half a turn, versus a Rolleiflex had a full turn and a full turn back. This in one movement advanced the film and cocked the shutter. It has double exposure prevention, so you can't fire the shutter unless there's film inside. Film counter shows 0. However, someone at some point modified this camera so that you could release the shutter down here. Now I'm not too sure why. This is the main shutter release. This is the self timer, and someone installed a shutter release down there. My only guess right now is maybe ergonomics when you hold the camera, since this one is way up here. It's a bit of a stretch, but I really couldn't tell you. To adjust the shutter speed and aperture is similar to Rolleiflex. You get 2 windows for your shutter speeds and your aperture. Your magnifying glass pops up. To pop the back open, simply slide this down, opens the back. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to put some film through this camera, hopefully this week, and I will hopefully get some good results. Thanks. Sorry, and this cover folds backwards on a Rolleiflex or any other camera. The rear part hinges first, but because the front part is glass, it hinges first and the back part protects it. So that's it.